Men love themselves. Men are focused on themselves, and then women are focused on them.
First person that did not cheat on me, I felt like he was completely loyal to me. Little me, that's not enough.
I got divorced, and then I moved in with the dude. My son didn't want to live with him. Thing went bad when I got divorced.
I came to this dating stage hoping to find a beautiful and family-oriented girlfriend who is willing to endure hardships with me. I don't like men who have no sense of style. A fashionable girl like me wouldn't match well with someone like you. What girl would want to suffer and struggle with you?
Welcome back to More to Life. Before I get into this video, like, comment, subscribe. Also, smash that notification bell just to be sure you get all my videos as soon as I release them. Let's get into this.
In 2019, there was a very popular dating show in China, and a billionaire CEO with assets of 1 billion yuan appeared on stage.
Wow.
The male guest was wearing a black top, looking very simple and ordinary, just like a poor loser. In order to test whether the women were materialistic, the male guest said as soon as he came on stage, "Hello everyone, I work as a bricklayer in my hometown. I don't have a house or a car at the moment, but I have a sincere heart. I came to this dating stage hoping to find a beautiful and family-oriented girlfriend who is willing to endure hardships with me." As expected, 4 out of 24 lights were turned off by the female guests on stage. Female guest number 10 immediately said to the male guest, "You're dressed a bit too casually, aren't you? I don't like men who have no sense of style. After all, a fashionable girl like me wouldn't match well with someone like you.
Wow.
Besides, you look quite old. With your current situation, I really don't understand where you got the courage to come on this stage for a blind date. Obviously, your conditions are not ideal. You don't have a house or a car. I guess you're already over 30, right? A man your age who still has nothing can only prove that you are not hardworking and lack ambition. How can you be worthy of the ladies on stage?" Female guest number 10 looked proud of herself. The male guest was not angry after hearing this. He quickly explained, "You can't judge a person by their clothes, can you? A realistic girl like you is indeed not suitable for me. Besides, I don't have a car or a house now, but does that mean you can deny everything about my past? Isn't that too harsh a judgment?" Female guest number 10 continued to ask the male guest, "If a girl holds hands with you, do you have any plans to buy a house?" The male guest quickly explained, "Because my job is unstable, and my income is also unstable, plus the high housing prices in big cities, buying a house will still take some time. I want to wait until I've made some money and then buy one. I want to find a girlfriend before I start my business, so we can support each other." Female guest number 10 looked very displeased and said, "Then come back after you've succeeded in your business." After saying that, she turned off her light. Seeing this, the male
Pretty much, I'll see you at the finish line. This is why he's doing this.
guest quickly explained again, "Even if I take out a loan to buy a house now, the pressure will be too much. It's better to wait until my career stabilizes. Also, the current housing prices are beyond what I can afford. I think I should take advantage of my youth to work hard and achieve something big. Once I succeed in my career, the problem of a house will naturally be solved." At this time, female guest number 5 said to the male guest, "Your entrepreneurial passion is commendable, but it's not realistic at all. You can't even provide the most basic level of financial security for a girl. What girl would want to suffer and struggle with you? You said you'll consider buying a house after you succeed in your business, but what if you don't succeed? How will you face that? Also, who would gamble their beautiful life on your uncertain future?" After female guest number 5 finished speaking, she turned off her light. Some other female guests on stage agreed with female guest number 5's opinion. In the blink of an eye, another 5 female guests turned off their lights. At this time, female guest number 1 smiled and said to the male guest, "Your idea is not wrong, but I think you should just go back to the countryside and work honestly. Don't have unrealistic dreams anymore.
What?
Just take your current job as an example. Maybe you are struggling even with basic living expenses.
Wow.
What do you rely on to achieve big things? Also, you can't even afford a branded piece of clothing for me. To be honest, one branded piece of clothing of mine costs over 10,000 yuan. The male guest replied, "What kind of branded clothing is that expensive? I'd like to know, where do you work?" Female guest number 1. Female guest number 1 proudly said, "I'm a senior foot massage therapist in a foot bath shop. I earn more than 40,000 yuan per month. A branded necklace of mine may cost as much as your half-year salary. If we were together, would we be walking the streets together after work? And if you plan to start a business in the future and make the girl suffer with you, what if your business fails? Have you thought about how hard it would be for us? I think a man should at least meet some basic standards. If I'm not mistaken, you probably don't even have money for the betrothal gift, right? Then how can you find your ideal girl?" The male guest got angry and said, "Are you all thinking that everything should be handed to you without effort? I hope you don't have such thoughts. You should achieve it through your own efforts. Even though I can't give you the ideal life now, to be honest, I can't bear girls who are this materialistic. Because I think simple meals and a peaceful life are true happiness. Only when two people..."
He had to do this because I'm sure he searched far and wide and couldn't find anyone. I'm sure every lady out there, the ones who know him, look at him and go, "Jackpot." Same thing with them. He would have got the same issue that he's already struggling with. So if you're rich, you may need to do something like this.
People work hard together, will they truly develop feelings for each other? Love should not rely solely on one person giving everything. A happy family must be built through mutual effort. If you want to find a rich guy or a tycoon, you should first consider your own qualifications. Why would a rich guy even be interested in you? Female guest number 1's face turned red after hearing this, and she looked at the male guest before turning off her light. The male guest then said, "Although I can't provide material comfort now, I believe I can give my partner a perfect future through hard work." After the male guest finished speaking, female guest number 5 quickly said to him, "You talked about yourself so well. I heard your conversation with the previous female guests. I think you're quite ambitious. I've been observing you since you came on stage. From the way you spoke in the beginning, it's clear that you're someone with a strong career mindset. I want to ask you, if we're together, would you buy me a branded necklace or a branded pendant? Because I really like those expensive pieces of jewelry." The male guest replied, "I would never buy those expensive pieces of jewelry. I think such purchases are meaningless.
X.
I hope girls don't compare themselves with others."
Wow.
Female guest number 5 looked at the male guest with disdain and said, "You're so stingy." At this moment, a simply dressed female guest still had her light on. The female guest who kept her light on said to the male guest, "I really appreciate your entrepreneurial passion, and I can feel that you're ambitious. I'm also from the countryside. I think rural people are really nice, down-to-earth and motivated. I deeply understand how hard it is for people from rural areas to work outside. In that regard, I really relate to you. So I hope we can get to know each other better." The host immediately asked the female guest who kept her light on, "Are you willing to hold hands with the male guest?" The female guest directly said, "Yes." The male guest walked to her, held her hand and said, "Thank you for your support. I will make you the happiest queen of the countryside." Then, holding her hand, he said, "There's something I want to tell you. Actually, before coming on stage, I hid my true identity. I'm not really a bricklayer. That's just a nickname. My real identity is the owner of a cement factory, with assets totaling 1 billion yuan. The female guests who had turned off their lights covered their mouths in disbelief.
What's most ironic on this dating stage is not the bricklayer pretending to be a CEO, but the fact that reality has long turned love into a naked auction of wealth. Those girls who turned off their lights weren't choosing a partner. They were bidding for material possessions. They claimed to seek sincerity, but all they saw were property deeds and car keys. They laughed at men without houses or cars, yet never thought about what they themselves had to offer beyond desire. They rejected men who were striving forward, but fantasized about marrying into castles. They looked down on the diligent and humble bricklayer, yet weren't even worthy of the sincere and devoted CO. When someone is willing to honestly show the most ordinary side of himself, only to be met with cold eyes, ridicule, and disdain, then we must ask, are we still living in an age of love, or have we entered a courtroom of labels? The saddest thing in this society is not that men don't have money, but that more and more women take marrying well as the ultimate goal of life, forgetting to ask first, are you even worthy of being chosen? Stop overestimating your own charm and stop underestimating someone else's future. What truly breaks hearts is never poverty, but a value system that judges everything through the lens of materialism.
Yeah, man, that's sad. Like, that's sad on them, but well deserved. That last girl was willing to give it a chance. None of them were. And that's true in every society. There's always someone willing to give it a chance, and sometimes it's hard to find that. Let me go on to the next one.
Anybody, but can we just talk about how men love themselves so much? Men love themselves. Men are focused on themselves, and then women are focused on them.
That's a who said.
Focused on making them happy, making them obsessed with them, giving them everything that they need. Stop. You need to stop. You don't even have a job, but you're busy focusing on getting a man. Get a job first. Men are focused on their money. Men are focused on their health, wealth, future dreams. Okay? Not you. Haven't you wondered why men are so successful? A man will literally secure a future for himself before he can secure a woman or a wife. But you're not focused on that, right? You're too busy focusing on that man that doesn't even love you. Sis.
So true.
If I can ask, what led to the divorce? Was it the business? What? Because y'all were together for 5 years.
Yes, and I learned a valuable lesson.
Okay.
So he was the first person that did not cheat on me.
Oh wow. Okay.
I felt like he was completely loyal to me. Like I never had a question about that. And we got along well, and we did well with finances, right?
Okay.
So young little old me, that's not enough.
Hold on. Gotta speak for the men. So
Speak for
you
your
sitting
men.
here telling me that money was fine. He loved you right. He wasn't cheating on you. What the fuck?
My point exactly.
Just wasn't enough. That's the funny thing. For most of them, it's not enough. Like even with the Chinese girls were saying, I want a shiny pendant and I want a necklace, or I want this and I want that minuscule thing. The guy's there loving you. He wants to be with you for the long haul. But what do? Always. Most of you ruin it.
People talking about celibacy. I think 50 Cent's even done a few interviews about it. I don't know if I really buy that he's being celibate, but maybe he is. I don't know, more power to him if he is. Like he says, if you're not going into a date or meeting someone with just the goal of sex, and you can actually get to know a person. And I have heard more men speaking up about this, which I'm happy to see, where they've discovered that they were maybe in a relationship with a woman and the sex was really good, but they decided, like, you know what, let's not have sex for a while and see if we have something else in the relationship, and then realizing that they didn't have anything else in the relationship. And I think more people in general really need to stop jumping to the physical, because that oftentimes clouds your judgment, your vision, and it happens a little bit differently for men and women, but it does happen to both men and women. The physical aspects of relationships often cloud everything else, and you don't necessarily make the best judgment call about a relationship when you're kind of clouded by the physical intimacy.
Especially when you're a man of value, right? And you're used to everything. When you're used to getting any woman you want, even like the Chinese guy, right? The cultures, they're all the same. Think about it. I'm sure a girl see him, oh, 50, I love you, 50 Cent. So he's smashing. And he loves the fact, okay, the vagina's good, but is she good? He doesn't really know them, right? Because all he knows is good box, but he doesn't understand. I need to see who she really is. Let me find out who she really is. Same thing with the billionaire guy. He wanted to find out who those women really were. See the true them. And sometimes in order to do that, you need to pit having relations to the back burner. Because if you don't, then you're getting burned. Not burned with a disease. Burned with love. And guys don't want that.
Time I look up, I see something about men ain't approaching no more, you know what I'm saying? Dating sucks and blah, blah, blah. And honestly, my wallet loves this. I got more money than I never had, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. Keep this rolling, my boy. And I'm at peace. I got more money, my peace of mind back, do what I want to do, when I want to do it, whenever I want to. I ain't gonna lie. It's the life.
Yeah, that's how most men feel.
Thank you, Riley, for bringing up. I need a story time because I think it needs a story because I'm sick of explaining it. So I got pregnant when I was 19 years old, okay? And my mom was like, you're getting married. Actually, yeah. No, I gave birth when I was 19. So I was like 18-ish when I was pregnant. So my mom like forced it upon me. She was like, you're not going to be one of those mothers who are not married and you're on your own on welfare, because she worked for the welfare department. So she was like, my daughter's not going to be one of them. I deal with that on the daily, and you are going to get married. Now, we loved each other. Yes, we were madly in love. We were high school sweethearts. Yeah. So we were just pregnant. We moved in. My mom's like, you're getting married. So we got married. I was 5 months pregnant when I walked down the aisle. Everyone, it was the talk of the town. When a big family, oh my God, she's pregnant. Oh my God. That's why my mom's like, you're getting married. She's not going to be made fun of because her daughter had a baby out of wedlock. And I was just like, okay, whatever. I went with it. I went with it. I was 19. What else was I going to do? And I loved him, like, madly. We were crazy in love with each other. That's why it was a good marriage. We were best friends. So when we got married, he became a bricklayer, okay? So it was a great job in Detroit, and for a long time, I mean, he was building all the buildings downtown, everything like that. We bought a house. We were the only people out of our friends who had a house. Everybody came to our house. It was the party house. We really had a good time. It was a great marriage. It was a great, happy family. Then he started getting laid off all the time because the economy just wasn't what it was. Like, shortly after we got married, I mean, it was like every winter he would get laid off. Every winter, because you can't lay bricks. You can't lay concrete. It's got to be a certain temperature. You know what I mean? So we struggled. We lived paycheck to paycheck every day of our lives. There were always single men all around. All the time there were single men. Every time there was guys that lived across the street. They always flirted. There was always alcohol involved. Everybody was always drinking. Like I said, our house was the party house. So I never did anything, but then there were times like, and I just don't even know. Like, I just don't, that's a whole nother video. We're gonna cut that out and that'll be another video. I didn't know what it meant to take vows, you guys. I was 19 and I probably was ready to pass out from lack of oxygen because I was standing in a church full of everybody there for me and 5 months pregnant, which I hated my pregnancy. I was miserable. Wow. I was not the girl who dreamt of getting married and walking down the aisle. No. I want to run the beach and be free and lay in the sun. That's it. No, I don't want to do anything like family. I don't know. I didn't want to do that. I mean, it wasn't my dream. I did it, and I played face for a long time. So he's always laid off. I have to, like, I'm not educated, so I got to go get educated, right? Like, I always waitress at night. So my husband at the time would go to work bricklaying during the day. Well, that's how it was during the day in the beginning, and then I would go at night when he got home, would cook dinner and everything. As soon as he would come home, we would switch, and he would stay there with the baby at night, and I would go waitress, and then I'd come home. That went on for a while. Then, like I said, he started getting laid off, so then somebody had to go to work. So time for Mama to step up to the plate. So I did. I was like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to get the out of this house. But then I was going to school. I was working at a hospital, working at the hospital, clinical hours at the hospital, and bartending at the same time. And he was just staying home, which is fine. We were a team, but I started losing respect. He started, we just really, he always wants to drink my coffee. Benny. He's my new man now. That's what I don't have a man. Okay. I live with no man. This is my man. They rule my world. We just broke apart. It was getting bad, and I had resentment, and there was this guy at my new job who would not stop flirting with me, and he was tall, dark, and handsome, and he said all the right things, and I was just, it was the new job I was getting into, and he was like the best at that job, and I just watched him and learned from him every day, and I just was enamored by him, and he never left me alone every day. He just was a talker. Like, I mean, my phone was blowing up. He never stopped. It was irresistible. It became irresistible. I was pushing him off of me. But then we went out, all of us, as a group, and we drank. And when alcohol's involved, it's not good. That's why I don't drink anymore. Literally the beginning of the end. I think weeks later, my ex-husband found like his receipt in my vehicle and asked who he was. And I think that also he may have started to go into Verizon and start looking at the hundreds and hundreds of text messages that were going on each day between me and the dude. He forgives me. What? People give me. So in that time, I literally,
Wow.
like I said, it was the beginning of the end, and I broke down, and it was a very quick downward spiral. I'm lucky that I made it out, like never like losing my job or, also graduating and just getting through all of the stuff that I got through, because I was in utter turmoil the entire time. I got divorced, and then I moved in with the dude. My son didn't want to live with him. I mean, it was just a whole horrible thing. My son just dropped out of school. It was just, everything went bad when I got divorced, and I should never have. And I was just delusional the whole time. I was completely delusional. I drank so much alcohol. I could not make decisions properly. My family would not interact with me anymore because I was making such wrong decisions. Nobody liked the guy that I was dating. So I had no support. They were like just shocked that I left my ex. It's good times, Good times. Good times. No, it was the worst of times, and I don't know how I made it out. It was the grace of God that I made it all out alive. And now I'm like way on the other side, and it's crazy because the boyfriend, the guy that I left my husband for, he still literally tries. I literally still had to just block him because he still tries to come into my life. And he lives with a girl. So this is how I know that that's why I can make this video, okay, and say, one thing about me is that I know that I'm never like you. Okay, that's what why is everyone flipping out over the video? Like, I went into the comments and they hide these comments, and I approved all of these because I want them to be seen. I want all these comments to be seen. I take accountability. If you look in my follow me or anything, I have a series called Hard Life Lessons Learned, and that's one of them. The grass is not greener on the other side. Like, I've lived and learned. I have learned, okay, people. I'm not a narcissist. I live alone, and mostly because I decide to, and I am an isolator. I don't like to be around others, but I don't like to date. I don't know. I am alone, so that's what I get, and it is lonely and sad. But what hurt the most out of all of that was my son, and that's why I would have stayed, okay? Because mothers should, you should give of yourself for your children, and I was only thinking of myself. I was very selfish and drunk and stupid, but now I'm on the other side. Now I'm getting emotional, but there you go, Riley. That's the story.
Karma's a bitch.
Man, so she cheated on her husband, then got cheated on. It fits. You deserved it.
Real talk.
That's what happened. Listen, I understand you're young, but you were young, but I'm sure your husband told you, or he probably didn't tell you. Stop talking to the guy at work. I mean, it seems like he found out late, and I feel bad for him because he got married young. He was in love. That was your best friend. So now you're reflecting now and telling TikTok all for money. But you know what I say? I say maybe some woman will listen. Maybe it'll help. Maybe they'll realize I don't need to make the same mistakes she made. But I bet you in the comments, go girl. Oh, it's all right. You'll find somebody else. Not even taking heed to what she's saying. She's pouring her heart out, trying to help you all. And you're stuck on feminism. Oh, it's all right. You'll get someone else. Because most of you are doing it. Most of you are cheating. A large handful of you are cheating. There are regular girls around, but it's hard to find them. That's why a lot of men have said, I'd rather stay to myself.
Notice when you watch these talk shows and these women come on up, I can't find a man because I am a software engineer and I date this and this and that and the third. You never hear them say, you know what? Tamron Hall, you know what, Steve Harvey or whoever. I am single because I can't find a man who needs a soft and gentler woman, a man that wants a woman who is interdependent, resourceful. She is a woman who knows how to be in the queen and princess energy. She's a woman that is agreeable, but she will challenge you. I'm a woman that knows how to be what it means to be a woman. Help me find somebody who needs a woman like that. No, I don't cook all the time, but I can make sure that you eat. I'm a woman that I'm a good for his peace, legacy, and his portfolio. Steve, can you help me find somebody? Do we ever hear that?
Absolutely not.
Because you won't have a hard time connecting with a man if you lead with that.
Sure wouldn't. Telling the truth. Telling past 3 months. Because what happens? Most of them get with you for 3 months. Yeah, they'll do that for the first 2 months, and you go, why did she stop cooking meals? She took off the mask. Now, you got to work on breaking up with her. It's rough. The date market is rough. And most women are becoming chameleons rather than being like that and telling the truth.
I hate to break this to you, but you're not going to be able to cure your loneliness by being around other people. That's not how it works. You'll probably end up more lonely. So you want to know, okay, fine, then what do I do? How do I cure my loneliness? And you're probably not going to like this answer. Because you probably like to think that there is an outside cure, there's an outside solution for this loneliness. The cure is within you. I know, it sounds so simple, doesn't it? But it's not, because if it was, you would have done it already. What this involves is you becoming your best friend. That is a skill. That is self-compassion. That is self-love. That is self-worth. That is all the self stuff. Becoming your own best friend. They're waiting for you. They don't want you going out and hanging out with other people to cure your loneliness because you're just going to come back home and feel lonely again. It didn't work. Just worked for a little while. Instead, you want to flip it around. So loneliness only visits you for a little while. It's not there all the time. Because feeling lonely is a very natural human emotion. You're going to feel it sometimes. But it's not meant to be felt all the time. And if you are feeling it all the time, then it's likely because you are always with yourself. And how do you like yourself? How do you feel about yourself? How do you talk to yourself? That's the key to overcoming your loneliness.
Oh no, she's in the case. How do you talk to yourself? Look, humans are meant to be interactive. Humans are meant for social connection. That's just how it is. That's the way God made us. We're social creatures. So you sitting here, of course you shouldn't feel lonely all the time. Something is wrong with you. If you're the type of person that can't be by yourself for a season, something is wrong with you. But it's not okay to be by yourself all the time, right? It's different if you're by yourself and you're doing something, right? Maybe you're making yourself better. You're working on your craft. But being by yourself and talking to yourself, crazy work. What is she talking about?
If you're tired of attracting feminine energy men, I'm not saying like gay men or whatever, like they're awesome. I'm talking about the men that you're dating. If you're tired of being the one like leading and being the one organizing things and feeling like you're the one that, you know, like is the man in the relationships, like trust me, I've been there. I have been there. My friends can testify. There isn't that much to be done. I promise you, it's just an energy shift. It's just a little bit of tweaking into your programming and you will literally shift that and attract masculine, high value men. So how do you do it? Super simple. You learn how to use your masculine energy effectively. It's not a matter of tapping into your feminine, because if you're a woman, you have that already in you. You don't need to tap into it. You don't need to step into it. It's in you. You're it already. You just need to learn how to master your masculine energy. And channel it towards, let's say, business as opposed to your relationships. Does that make sense?
You can't make this up.
And yeah, guys, thank y'all for watching. Peace out. See you next video.